All right. Album review time for We Don't Trust You by Future and Metro. It may come to as a surprise to some of you. There actually is an album. There's an album that came out, not just a song. Everybody's been talking about the song, rightfully so. But I feel like, not too many people were talking about the album over the weekend. And then, of course, as everything kind of settled down over like that, then, Homeland Security raids Diddy, and then that all blows up. And so it's kind of funny that here's this new album by Future and Metro, and nobody's really talking about it, even though we're all talking about it. It's weird little duality there. My opinion on the album, I enjoy it. It's good. I think it's solid, easy listen. If I was going to issue any meaningful criticism toward it, I'd say that it's somewhat safe. There's no boundaries really being pushed here. There isn't anything revolutionary happening in terms of what Future is doing or what Metro is doing, even though what Future is doing sounds good. What Metro is doing sounds good. I like both of them together. They've made a good album. I mean, for me, I listened to this album and I'm kind of surprised. It's pretty chill, honestly, in my opinion. When I listen to it, just kind of kick back and vibe out, especially the back half of the album. Seems like the front half or the front, six. Seems like the opening portion of the album is kind of structured and geared to drop into this gigantic K-bomb that goes so cool little build up and delivery there, especially with this theme of we don't trust you, and you got fake written all over you got hate written all over you, and these little things about Tupac, I don't trust no fucking buddy. What was the other? There's all kinds of little bits, right? All kinds of references and the samples being made about not trusting anybody, corny ass rappers. I could name 100 of them right now. That builds up to like that. I feel though that all this focus on like that, I honestly kind of, I don't want to say like disappointed, but almost sad. I feel like nobody's talking about Everyday Hustle. I love Everyday Hustle. I think that track's amazing. Rick Ross has a killer verse on that track. I love the line, I got 200 cars. All my haters are screaming, damn it. Amazing. And then Metro is taking that sample, chopping the shit out of it, just beating the shit out of that sample on Everyday Hustle. Great song. That's probably my favorite, or maybe Cinderella. I really like Cinderella. Running Out of Time is fantastic. Type Shit is really cool. Ice Attack has really grown on me a lot, especially with that beat switch that drops in there. So overall, a lot of good tracks on this album. Good vibe, surprisingly chill. I did have to drop into some other reaction channels. I had to watch Lost in Vegas, and I'm blanking on the other one now. There's another one to watch. To basically go through the Kendrick Lamar verse on Like That and watch these other guys who are fully immersed in both hip-hop music and hip-hop culture. That's the one main thing I don't have. I'm not surrounded by hip-hop culture in my life. And it's so fun watching these guys just pick these lines apart, explain this subtle reference, this double meaning. I'm happy Kendrick at least had the wherewithal to acknowledge, my temperament is bipolar. I choose violence, in reference to the final track off of Big Steppers, where he's saying, I choose me, I'm sorry, kind of implying that he's not going to do any of this anymore. Especially, I also feel like that even spills into The Heart Part 5, where he's talking about the culture being involved and fuck calling it culture and all this other stuff. So at least he's got that awareness to acknowledge what he has said before compared to what he is saying now. In terms of what he's saying now, Kendrick does a good job. It'll be interesting to see what happens going forward in terms of any J. Cole response or Drake response. I'm not planning on doing like any dedicated reactions to singles and stuff. I've proven to you all and myself in the past how oblivious I am to a lot of these jabs that people put in their diss tracks. Remember specifically one with Drake going through like, this is dumb, he's not saying anything, and then finding out after the fact, oh no, actually he's saying all kinds of shit, I just don't get it. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably just lurk and follow like everybody else does, and watching these tracks come out and seeing how this all evolves. But it's cool. It's cool seeing everybody within the hip hop realm, super excited, right? Like, oh my God, here we go. Here we go. I mean, especially when Kendrick says, fuck the big three, it's just big me. Like that, okay. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know J. Cole's got an album coming out. I don't know about Drake, but, in terms of their response, who knows? I'm sure it's out there somewhere. With this album specifically, with this being part one of part two, it makes me wonder, especially the opening track, We Don't Trust You, it's got the Metro Boomin tag, right? If Metro don't trust you, he's going to shoot you. And then all the gunshots go off. So it's very much a metaphorical shots fired in the album. Makes me wonder, are there a couple more rounds in the chamber on the next album? And then two, with the next album, I mentioned before, my only criticism of this one would be it's somewhat safe. If the next album is basically this again, I'll be pretty disappointed. Honestly, not that this is bad music. I enjoy it. I've listened to it quite a bit, but I would like to see something, maybe a second step, a further evolution or pushing of this idea of we don't trust you. Maybe it's here's why type of a thing. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but if it's basically this album again, I'll go, okay. And for me, there's been people chatting about, oh yeah, is it your album of the year? And this, for me, so far, I would say no. I enjoy it. I like it. I think it's good, but I don't think it has that like full top tier push in terms of what they're doing in the album. That's just me. I think that's it. Kind of a quick one. It seems like the albums that are solid, pretty good. Usually I don't have that much to say about it just because it's like, yeah, it's good, You really got to push either really, really into that upper stratosphere or kind of suck for me to have something to either praise or complain about. But overall, We Don't Trust You, I've enjoyed it. I did have one question during the live stream, do I prefer this over Heroes and Villains? I did get in a full listen of Heroes and Villains over the weekend. I'd nod more towards Heroes and Villains in terms of enjoying that one a little bit more than this one. But they both sound good. It's so cool. I just love, you get Travis in there, Playboy's in there, The Weeknd's in there a little bit. These guys, they come in, they get together, and, to kind of counter my own criticism of the album of, yeah, okay, maybe it doesn't push the boundaries, maybe it isn't some mind-blowing experience. But at the same time, it's not like every artist or group goes into the studio going, okay, we got to change everything. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going, hey, let's just go in and get together and make some fucking cool songs. Okay, cool. And that's what they did. That's what they did. It doesn't always have to be the best thing that's ever made, Okay, there you go. There's my thoughts on the album. I'll definitely do reactions to the next one, and we'll see what happens with diss tracks and things like that going forward. And yeah, there you go. All right, y'all. Take care.